This video is about how here in California we have infractions and misdemeanors. Now infractions we have an arraignment, and about 30 days later we have trial. For misdemeanors we have an arraignment, then we have a pre-trial, and then we have trial. Now some attorneys will try to downplay pre-trial, but pre-trial is really important because this is where you get to cross-examine witnesses, and if the cop's testimony here from the questions you ask them are different from their police report or another witness's testimony, then you can impeach him and move to dismiss right there and then. Or if that doesn't work, then you can still use that against him at trial and create reasonable doubt in the minds of the jury. So keep that in mind. Now in some other states, for infractions you have arraignment and trial all in one day, which is kind of weird, but it happens. Now the point of this is so you can understand how infractions work in California. This video is about paying attention to see if your officer that cited you, or if the officer that cited you is there for your trial. Now I'm telling you this because a long time ago I didn't pay attention, and the story I'm about to tell you I told a friend of mine a while back ago, and recently got into a similar situation I did, and the difference was he paid attention and got his case dismissed. So he said, maybe you should tell people so that they could, kind of have a heads up as to what can happen. Well, it's a little trick that a DA used on me. I filed an informal request for discovery prior to arraignment, about a month ahead of arraignment, and when I went to arraignment, the judge says, well, how do you plead? I said, Your Honor, I plead not guilty, and I move for a continuance, and I'm going to come back in a month, but I want to waive my right to a speedy trial, and I want to come back 2-3 months. I usually do that so I can file more motions and cost them more money. So he said, well, no. He goes, you know what? You should have your evidence, whatever you need, within the 30 days. I'm sure somebody will send you whatever you need. I was like, okay, fine. Well, I get to trial, and there's a DA there. And he says, hey, look, I haven't had time to give you your discovery, but I have it here right now with me. Here you go. And I said, well, that's not going to work. I'm going to move for continuance because I don't have enough time to prepare. And he pretended to be upset. He was like, oh, okay, fine. And so my name was called up, and he spoke before I did, and he said, Your Honor, the defendant's going to request for a continuance, and the people have no objection. The judge looks at me and says, is this true, sir? I said, yes, Your Honor, I've already received discovery right now, and I move for continuance. The judge says, okay, very well. Hits the gavel, come back next month. I was happy, I was proud, until I realized the cop hadn't shown up. So if I would have just said nothing, the case would have been dismissed. So I told that to my buddy, and he was laughing. This was a while back. I told him, and he had recently got a citation. I think it was going like 90 or something like that, and a 65. And so what happened was he goes to trial, still hadn't received any discovery after filing motions, and so the DA shows up, did the exact same thing, gave him the discovery. He goes, here you go. He goes, okay, fine. But the only difference was he waited. He said nothing, he waited. Now basically what he was going to do was, if the cop would have shown up, he would have said, Your Honor, I just received this now, I move for continuance. But what happened was the DA gets up, and he gets up when his name was called, and the DA says, Your Honor, the people move to dismiss this case. Witness isn't here, and so we can't do anything. And the judge says, okay, very well, the case dismissed, and he walked away. That could have been me years ago, but it wasn't, because I was too eager for a fight, and I wanted to prove them that I was right. So pay attention, and the moral of the story is, you may think you're winning, but you might not be winning. You might actually be losing, and you won't realize it till after the fact. And so I'm sharing this story with you guys because had I done that, I would have probably not wasted a whole day from work having to come back. And my case eventually got dismissed, but I still lost 2 days because of that. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. You guys don't waste your time away from work or your family and loved ones, and can just beat your citations as soon as possible, because unlike attorneys, we pro se litigants love to try to beat stuff at arraignment or even pretrial possible, but attorneys, they love to drag stuff on because they want to milk you guys. So thanks for watching, and please let me know if you guys like this video, or if you guys have ever gone through something similar where you thought you were going to win, but in fact you didn't win, and it wasn't because it was your fault, but because of an oversight. Thanks for watching.